We often hear about sex in terms of physical pleasure or entertainment, but what if I told you that sex is far more than just a way to pass time or experience brief pleasure? In fact, sex is a powerful force that impacts our lives in ways we rarely consider, shaping both our personal well-being and the dynamics of our relationships. And it's about time we stopped underestimating this influence. Let me start by asking you to consider something. When we engage in sex, we are not just interacting with our bodies. We're creating real energy. This energy doesn't just vanish after the act. In fact, it stays with us. It moves through our bodies, through our relationships, and even into our day-to-day lives. Our culture often treats sex as nothing more than an activity for fun and physical release, but we refuse to acknowledge the profound impact it has on us, both mentally and emotionally. Now, I want you to think about how you feel after sex. Do you feel energized, alive, and confident? Or do you feel depleted, tense, or emotionally drained? The truth is that sex can nourish us, filling us with positive energy, or it can leave us feeling malnourished, blocked, and mentally exhausted. This isn't just about physical sensations. It's about how sex affects your internal state and your outlook on life. And whether we realize it or not, that energy ripples out and affects every other area of our lives. Let me break it down for you. When you engage in nourishing, fulfilling sex, it has the potential to elevate your sense of self. It can make you feel empowered, vibrant, and connected to your own body in a way that revitalizes you. But on the flip side, when sex is hollow or toxic, it can drain you. You may feel a sense of emotional turmoil, disconnected, or even worse, like you're carrying negative energy that clings to you long after the act is over. This might sound dramatic, but think about it. How many times have you experienced tension, anxiety, or even conflict in a relationship after sex that just didn't feel right? Maybe the experience was unsatisfying, or maybe it left you feeling emotionally distant from your partner. It's not just about physical sensations, it's about the energy exchange that happens when two people are intimate. And believe me, this exchange can either be nourishing or toxic, depending on the quality of the connection. Let's talk about your relationship for a moment. Just like sex can impact your personal well-being, it can also influence the energy of your relationship. Healthy, connected sex can breathe life into your relationship. It brings love, intimacy, and understanding, reinforcing the bond you share with your partner. On the other hand, toxic or malnourishing sex can have the opposite effect. It can create tension, conflict, and emotional distance. Imagine a relationship that's supposed to be based on trust and love, but instead, sex becomes a source of stress or discomfort. That's the kind of energy that can slowly erode the foundation of your connection. And here's the thing, this is more common than we realize. In our culture, we often settle for sex that is hollow. It might feel physically satisfying in the moment, but it leaves us emotionally unfulfilled or even worse, drained. Or sometimes we find ourselves in situations where sex feels downright toxic, where it's more about fulfilling a duty or relieving frustration than it is about connecting or enjoying each other. But here's the kicker. Many people don't even realize that this is happening. They may feel emotionally drained or distant after sex, but chalk it up to just how it is, or it's not a big deal. But the truth is, it is a big deal. Let's take a closer look at this issue. When you engage in sex that doesn't nurture or satisfy you, it affects you on a much deeper level than you might think. It's like eating a meal that looks good on the plate but leaves you feeling hungry and unsatisfied afterward. The energy you're putting out into the world is low, depleted, and negative, and it can have far-reaching effects on your mental and emotional health. And if this becomes a recurring pattern, it will start to take a toll on your overall well-being. So, what can we do about it? First, we need to start recognizing sex for what it truly is, not just an activity or a physical sensation, but an energetic exchange that can either nourish us or drain us. We need to start talking about sex in more mindful and conscious ways, acknowledging that its impact on our lives goes far beyond the physical level. We need to stop treating it as a superficial or secondary part of our relationships and begin to respect it as a powerful force that deserves our full attention and care. Now that we've established just how powerful sex is as an energetic force in our lives, let's explore the two ways it really impacts us, both positively and negatively, and how we can start fostering healthier sexual energy to improve our well-being and relationships. To begin, I want you to think about the sex you're having right now. Is it nourishing, or does it feel like something you should do, or maybe something that's just kind of routine? Is there genuine connection and pleasure, or are you simply going through the motions, hoping it will be over soon? This is where we need to be honest with ourselves because, unfortunately, many of us have been conditioned to see sex through a very narrow, often harmful lens. You see, our culture often encourages us to view sex as something that's all about physical pleasure and release, with little regard for the emotional and energetic aspects. But this is a serious oversight. The energy you create in sex, whether positive or negative, impacts everything from your emotional health to your sense of connection with your partner. Think of it this way. When you're having sex that is genuinely fulfilling, whether it's passionate, intimate, or playful, you feel energized. It's like a battery recharge for your soul. You feel vibrant, alive, and more connected not only to your partner but to yourself as well. But when sex becomes disconnected or hollow, the opposite happens. It can drain you. It leaves you feeling empty, emotionally distant, or even frustrated. And this doesn't just happen in the short term. It can have long-lasting effects. Over time, sex that feels disconnected or malnourishing can lead to feelings of resentment, bitterness, or loneliness. It can make you feel like something is missing in your relationship. Or worse, it can cause you to lose trust in yourself and your body. And here's something that might surprise you. It's not necessarily about the quantity of sex or even the physical act itself. What matters is the quality of the connection, the emotional and energetic exchange that occurs between you and your partner. In fact, there are many people who might not have sex at all, but still feel incredibly fulfilled and empowered because they have a healthy connection to their own bodies, and they're not participating in malnourishing or toxic sexual exchanges. The bottom line is, sex should be a nourishing experience. It should enhance your life, not detract from it. Whether you're single or in a relationship, it's crucial that you become mindful of the energy you're creating. Healthy sexual energy brings vitality, openness, and healing. Malnourishing sexual energy, on the other hand, leaves you feeling drained, disconnected, and possibly even resentful. Let's dig deeper into how we can cultivate this healthy sexual energy. First, we need to understand that it's not just about the physical act of sex. It's also about how present you are in your body, how connected you are with your partner, and how you're interacting with your emotions. When we approach sex from a place of mindfulness, where we truly tune in to how we're feeling emotionally and physically, it helps to create a more vibrant, connected experience. This means being open, communicative, and sensitive to your own and your partner's needs. It means actively engaging in the process, not just passively waiting for it to happen. For instance, if you find yourself often feeling tense or disconnected during sex, ask yourself why. Are you stressed? Is there something unresolved between you and your partner? These emotional blocks can have a major impact on your sexual energy. Simply addressing those issues, either through conversation or self-reflection, can go a long way in improving the quality of your sexual life. Moreover, trust plays a huge role in cultivating healthy sexual energy. When both partners feel safe, respected, and emotionally supported, the energy exchange between them is natural and nourishing. Trust allows you to fully engage in the experience, let go of any anxieties, and fully embrace the energy being created. This trust doesn't just apply to your partner, it also applies to your relationship with your own body. Feeling at ease in your own skin, without judgment, is essential for creating the space for positive sexual energy to flow. Now let's talk about the second major impact that sex has, its influence on your relationship as a whole. We've already discussed how sex can either nourish or deplete you as an individual, but what about your relationship? How does the sexual energy you share affect the bond between you and your partner? When sex is healthy, it strengthens the foundation of your relationship. It deepens the emotional connection, fostering intimacy, trust, and mutual respect. It also promotes positive communication because couples who engage in nourishing, fulfilling sex are more likely to communicate openly about their needs, desires, and any issues that might arise. Sex becomes a way to enhance the connection rather than a source of conflict or distance. On the other hand, when sex is toxic or malnourishing, it can have the opposite effect. It can create emotional distance, leading to misunderstandings, resentment, and even arguments. It can also foster a sense of disconnection, where both partners feel emotionally unsupported or unheard. If the sexual energy in the relationship is consistently negative, it can erode trust, create tension, and lead to feelings of dissatisfaction in other areas of the relationship as well. This is why it's so crucial to approach sex with mindfulness and intentionality. If you're finding that sex is becoming a point of tension in your relationship, it's time to stop and ask yourself why. Are there unspoken issues that need to be addressed? Are you and your partner communicating openly about what you need, or are you simply going through the motions? If sex has become disconnected or emotionally distant, it's time to reset, reevaluate, and prioritize the emotional and energetic connection over just the physical act. Ultimately, cultivating healthy sexual energy isn't just about improving your sex life, it's about enhancing your life overall. When you start to view sex as a source of energy, as something that impacts both your personal well-being and the quality of your relationships, you'll begin to realize just how much potential it has to improve every area of your life. So, whether you're single or in a relationship, I encourage you to think about the energy you're creating in your sexual life. Is it nourishing? Is it positive? Is it strengthening your connection with yourself and with your partner? If not, what steps can you take to change that? The energy of sex is a powerful force, and when we treat it with the respect and mindfulness it deserves, it can transform our lives in ways we never thought possible.